Okay, this is take 3. So I will do the lore here. This is the lore for Shvgrys. It needs to be on a separate video because I try to rush through it and it takes too long to combine it with the other economics of the cards themselves, Daughters of Shvgrys. So the way that okay, the universe is going to be destroyed by void because the Satyr, which are the ruling power of the universe, trapped the dragons, which are celestial beings that were around the fringe of the universe. Well, now that they bottled them, they're gone, kind of. Something is invading, the void is invading from the fringe of the universe. And these are squid-like gigantic creatures. They're like as big as a moon. And they digest planets the way flies do through external digestion. They suck out the marrow. That's what they feed on. Oh, the marrow. I mean the molten core of the planet, as if it were marrow inside a bone. And then obviously the planet collapses and, is destroyed. Just a shell is left. Okay. And so the Satyr, which is the empire that runs the universe, needs a solution. And they don't have weapons that can stop the void. And they create XSyn. Well, their first attempt is botched, and then the first XSyn that actually creates the rest of them. What do we call that? XSyn 1. XSyn 1, I think that's what we call her, survives long enough only to create the 10,000 XSyn that spread out to the universe and stop the void. XSyn are incredibly powerful. They're a mixture of arachnid and human, so old earthling female. They're a splice of the two. So they will breed 6 at a time actors, and the actors across the different worlds that they spawn on will, by instinct, try to find each other, and then on their journey to return to their XSyn, their mother. They act by instinct. They do not rationally know. They don't have communication with their XSyn. So what happens when they finally reach is mystery. And what happens is the XSyn devours them. They are half arachnid. And the XSyn are villainous. They do hunt and kill the void with ease. They're super powerful, but they're also villains. And part of our lore is, well, our lore has a lot of depth to it and evolves, and it's going to be long. But this is how things start. Shvgrys is different because Shvgrys somehow devoured her XSyn. Shvgrys was an actor, and she went alone without a syndicate, and she went and devoured her XSyn. So Shvgrys now breeds 9 daughters, but 7 of them is what I'm selling. There's 2 left. One of them is technically a nanny, but it's the same exact card, and she operates the same exact way. She's created the same exact way in the same, she's just was designated nanny by Shvgrys, but she's built the same way and such. It's just what Shvgrys did. So, okay, so these daughters have names. Names are sacred among actors. They do not have names generally. Even the legend lines do not have names. And as far as the names go, you guys are like, oh, but we need names. I want the forum. I will let the forum decide names. That would probably happen anyway. It kind of organically does in games like this. So, like nicknames develop. So why not just have real names develop? Let you guys actually do that. Make real names, and we'll kind of use those. I'm fine with that. But these daughters actually name themselves. So that's cool. So Saturnaries, let me briefly mention that. Saturnaries names herself after the actual Saturnaries, which is this legend line character. This is the actual Saturnaries. He's an Accio, but she names herself after him. Okay, to clear that up. So, let me see. These cards, so let's just move to the economics, I think, now. Oh, wait a second. So they have, no, economics is in the other one. They all have the third eye, right? I'm sure that you noticed because I'm flashing them up here. Those are implanted by Shvgrys. So Shvgrys can see through her daughters, she can sense through her daughters, and she can also, importantly, basically GPS track them. She doesn't put one on Saturnaries because she wanted Saturnaries to be different. She wanted Saturnaries to be the one daughter that just literally gets to be free and unbounded and just completely no tethers at all. Not that she weighs too heavily on her daughter's lives anyway. She doesn't really impinge there. That's not going to be a theme that she's heavy-handed impinging. She just wants to know, what's going on and what they're doing and where they are and such. It's more knowledge than she's going to, do a machina down from the sky and suddenly stop the whole thing. No, to stop the whole plot. No, that's not. But with Saturnaries, she just completely doesn't even want herself to know where Saturnaries is. So, yeah, which is strange because XSyn are very controlling, and a Shvgrys, by one step removed, that she's an actor spawned or bred by a XSyn, they tend to be a little on the more so than average. The controlling trait does carry over to them, not to everyone, but just as a general's, macro character trait, controlling hand. Not that everyone is, though. So that's the lore. Yeah, and then I'll have the economics of how these cards work, the Indiegogo, that on another video. Yeah, there's a lot I could really go into. I have tons and tons of lore, but this is probably a good overview.